yesterday. I want 10 million. I want 10 million for the big guy, right? That's what he said. I want 10 million for a big guy.
Who's the big guy?
You know what's kind of funny? I actually call my father the big guy to say, hey, the big guy, blah, blah, blah. Right? It's a different type of big guy. My father is like the greatest guy in the world, and, you know.
47.
And Joe's a crook, right? So, like, it's a different type of thing. But when he says 10 million for the big guy, and you know what, I've been asking for like 8 months. No one seems to be following this. How can he afford? He has 2 houses, right? And they're both really nice. A senator makes $174,000 a year. It's a lot of money, all right? A lot of money. But not when it comes relative to the size of the guy's 2 houses. Like, you couldn't pay the taxes and the upkeep on those houses with that. You know, isn't that really interesting? And so, where do you think he's funding his life from now? It all makes sense. The 10 million for the big guy. It all makes sense. And you know what's amazing? The media won't even talk about it. I mean, ABC News has spent 0 time, not a second of time talking about the scandal. I mean, they totally carry this guy's water for him. I mean, it's unbelievable. It is robbery. You see a guy who gets kicked out of the Navy. Gets kicked out of the Navy for doing drugs, all right? And what, 2 months later, he gets $1.5 billion for his fund from China? Does anybody actually believe that a kid that gets kicked out of the Navy should get $1.5 billion for his fund? The Chinese don't give anybody money, right? Yet they give Hunter Biden, who got kicked out of the Navy 3 weeks earlier, they're going to give him money? Come on. He sits on the board of a natural gas company making $85,000, $83,000 a month. He doesn't speak the language. Yeah, that's right. Come on, man. Come on, man. Everybody knows he rightfully got that job. $83,000 a month. He doesn't speak the language, and he doesn't know anything about oil and gas, and he'd never been to the Ukraine. Other than that, he's remarkably qualified. I mean, give me a break, right? And so, guys... Yeah, we do. We gotta lock a lot of people up. We gotta lock a lot of people up. We should start with Hunter, and then we can get on to Omar. How does everyone like Omar? She's great, huh? But guys, so this is what we're fighting. We're fighting for our First Amendment right. We're fighting for religious liberty. We're fighting for our Second Amendment. We're fighting for manufacturing in this country. We're fighting for law enforcement. We're fighting for our military. We're fighting to have these things not get burned by Antifa.
We're fighting for our grandchildren.
It's true, we are. By the way, make no mistake, we are fighting for the kids in this audience. It's half the reason we do it. And then you look at my father, right? I mean, what does my father stand for? Pretty simple guy. Greatest economy in the world, lowest unemployment, lowest African American unemployment, lowest Hispanic unemployment, fastest wage growth. You know, great markets, manufacturing coming back to this country, right? That's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for the greatest military on the face of this earth ever, not even close. You know, it's amazing. One of the first stories my father has from getting to D.C., it's really amazing. There's a couple good ones, but this was, he had one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff come up to him, and, you know, right at the beginning, obviously this was, you know, top secret initially. I mean, he talks about it now, but one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff came up to him and said, "Sir, whatever you do, you know, don't get into any conflicts." And he goes, "I wasn't really planning on assuming office and going to war like that. I'm trying to get people out of wars, not enter wars." It's kind of amazing. You know, he wants to pull everybody out of Iraq and Afghanistan and all these countries, not enter wars. But he goes, "I wasn't really planning on it, but why do you say that?" He goes, "Sir, as a country, we are out of ammunition. Our military's out of ammunition." No, that's a real story. It's like not funny. It's as a country, our stockpiles of ammunition, our military stockpiles of ammunition are gone. And my father's sitting there saying, "How the hell did you let this happen? How in the world could you possibly have let this happen? None of you guys should have ammo, that much I can tell you, right? I'm not out of ammo. Is anybody here out of ammunition?" Right. And so the U.S. military was out of ammo. He said, "What are you doing?" And that's why he fought so hard for the $721 billion per year to rebuild our military. And now you see these planes. You see these planes coming off the lines, right? These F-35s. You've got the best fighter planes. You've got the best aircraft carriers. You've got the best submarines. Space Force. Who likes Space Force? Did you you see that? The first ceremony this morning was actually the first 4 cadets this morning were sworn into the United States Space Force. So the best satellites. And I'm sure there's lots of top secret stuff in there we could only dream about knowing. But, you know, the ultrasonic weapons and the other things. I mean, we're no longer behind the curve. You know what? Our military comes first and we can take anybody on it. My father's philosophy was always very simple, right? You never want to go to war. He wants to be out of every war because we wasted $11 trillion in the Middle East. $11 trillion. I mean, imagine what that could have done for Michigan, and imagine what that could have done for public schools and infrastructure and bridges. Instead, we lost it over there, and we lost thousands and thousands of people. But his philosophy with the military is always very simple, right? If we ever have to go in, you have the greatest military in the world, and you go in and you hit them so hard that their heads spin, and then you get the hell out. You're out, right? You get out.
In it to win it.
And no one ever messes with the United States again, ever, right? Because you hit them so hard. You know, you go in and you fight to win. And that's what my father's all about. Everything he wants to do is win. He wants to win for this country. He's sick and tired of politicians apologizing for the greatness of America. We live in the greatest country in the world.
Yeah!
USA!
47! 47! 47! 47!
And we do live in the greatest country in the world. So that's what he wants. He wants the best economy. He wants the best military. He wants peace in the Middle East. You see 2 new peace deals this week. I mean, think about it. You had countries that hated each other so much, right? You never had a plane. Think about this concept. You never had a plane ever take off in one country and land in the other. And these countries aren't that far apart, right? You never had a plane because, you know, religions and languages and wars for years and disputed borders. And you know what? They always said, if you move the embassy to Jerusalem, which my father moved to Jerusalem, if you ever move the embassy, you're going to stir up a hornet's nest. That was John Kerry. You remember that famous quote, right? You're going to stir up a hornet's nest. And so my father immediately didn't listen to him because John Kerry's been wrong about just about everything. It's kind of like Biden, right? And it's kind of like Obama. They're wrong on just about everything. He moved the embassy, and guess what? 6 months later, everybody's coming forward. They want peace deals. They want peace in the Middle East. Isn't that a beautiful thing? And then my father wanted energy independence. Isn't that an amazing thing, right? We have the lowest fuel costs. And you want to talk about something that helps?
We're going to try to get an interview here, so hang on for an interview after Eric Trump is done speaking.
And I don't know why people forget. Do you remember under Obama and Biden, gas was $5.50, $6? Do you remember this? You know, if you had a pickup truck, my truck, it'd be like $130 to fill up the tank. Now you go, it's like $52 or something to fill up 25 gallons. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, right? But yet the Democrats, they come out, we want to get rid of fossil fuels. It's the greatest advantage we have as a nation. China would give half of its population for the amount of natural gas and resources that we have in this country. Why wouldn't we give that away? And you have Biden, right? So Biden 3 weeks ago was, we're going to ban fracking, we're going to ban fuel, we're going to ban coal. We're going to ban steel, we're going to ban everything, right? Then all of a sudden he shows up in Pittsburgh. This was like the greatest thing. This reporter comes up to him and, Mr. Biden, sir, we hear you want to ban natural gas and oil and gas and fracking. That's not very popular in Pennsylvania. No, man, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. The other guy wants to do it. The other guy wants to do it. It's like, you can't make this up. He did the same thing with law enforcement, right? The exact same thing where Kamala Harris comes out and calls, ICE the KKK and everything else, right? And he says that he wants to reallocate funding to social workers. So I want to ask the question. So when somebody's driving down the highway doing like 130 at 4 o'clock in the morning, they're hammered. Does a social worker pull over the drunk driver? Is that what happens? Like, when there's a shooting somewhere, does a social worker run in there and try and use their breathing exercise? Exactly, they're breathing. That was good timing, man. That was really, really good. Yeah, to use their breathing exercises to talk down. No, that's why you have law enforcement. I mean, so anyway, he shows up in Pittsburgh, all right? And Mr. Biden, Pennsylvania really loves law enforcement, and this isn't very popular. No, man, I don't want to ban law enforcement. I don't want to defund the police. The other guy wants to do that, the other guy. And so I'm in an interview. I'm in Pittsburgh like the following day, right? And I'm doing an interview. I'm like, yeah, the guy wants to ban law enforcement. He wants to ban fracking. No, he said he didn't want to do that. I just asked him yesterday. I'm like, we have something called YouTube. We're not living when this farm was first created in 1833. We have YouTube, we have Google. Like the guy said it last week that he wanted to defund police and he wanted to ban oil and gas and fracking, right? No different than the gun stuff, right? He comes out, Beto O'Rourke will be my gun czar. He's going to take away your AR-14s. I'm like, I don't know, man. You can have all of my AR-14s, but don't take my AR-15s and don't take my AR-10s, all right? Thank God our AR-14s are totally safe, all right? They're totally safe. It's unbelievable, guys. It's unbelievable. I mean, these people, they're liars. So you know, so my father wants to save oil and gas, and he wants to save the farmers. And you know how you save the farmers? You tariff the hell out of China, because they've been ripping us off for years. There's never been a person who's gone after China. I mean, there's no president. No president has ever had the backbone to go after them, right? And guys, it's not just what they were doing to manufacturing. They stole all our manufacturing out of this country because Obama and Biden and, frankly, Bush and Clinton, a lot of people allowed it to happen, right? It was all of them that allowed it to happen.
All of them.
They stole all our manufacturing. They stole all of our jobs.
Yep.
They stole most of our industry. They stole just about all of our intellectual property because they were stealing that every single day. They sent fentanyl. Does anybody remember this? They sent fentanyl all over the United States, which destroyed our youth. And they were happy doing it. They're still sending it to Mexico. Now they gave us coronavirus. It's really nice of them, right? They gave the entire world coronavirus. You know, they stole all our ag, right? So they weren't buying anything. And then anything that, anything we sent them, they didn't pay tariff on, but anything that it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Anything that we sent over there, we had to pay a massive tariff on, but we could import all their stuff for free. China has ripped off this country for years, and I promise you,
I have a new, thanks to this gentleman here.
we put on 25%
So I've got
tariffs.
a new screen.
Put on 25% tariffs because a lot of it was they weren't buying any agriculture from the farmers here in the U.S. Is one of the reasons, one of the main reasons he did it. And guess what? They had their worst year in 67 years. You know that, right? Worst year. And that's why Nancy Pelosi comes out the other day and she goes, China wants Biden. And I go, oh my God, that's that is the greatest. Thank you, Nancy Pelosi. We appreciate that. She literally said that, guys. She literally said that. She goes, China wants Biden. I go, I know they do. You know why? They own his son. They've spent the last decade buying his son. Of course they want Biden. Of course they want Biden. But guys, you know what? We're no longer getting ripped off. And the farmers are doing better than ever before. Guys, we love the farming community. We really do. And then you look at prescription drugs. Look at prescription drugs, right? So we're getting ripped off by the entire world. So, Pfizer or one of these Merck or one of these companies would make a drug and they would sell it to an American for $10 a pill. But they would sell it to somebody who lives in France or Germany or anywhere else around the world. They were selling it for like 50 cents, 60 cents, $1. Wow. And so my father comes in saying, let me ask you a question. Why are you selling the same drug that you're selling to an American for $10 to somebody in France for $1? Why is that happening? Well, he goes, no, you're not subsidizing the cost of the research and development of these drugs by using Americans' hard-earned money. You're not doing that. So he did a little thing the other day. It's called Most Favored Nations. Has anybody heard of this? So you can't sell a pharmaceutical to a foreign nation for a cheaper price than you would sell it to somebody in America. And by the way, it's why you see the amount of money that the pharmaceutical companies are pouring against my father right now. And it's great. And by the way, he wears it as like a badge of courage. Does that make sense? It's like they spend billions against it, but he goes, it's not right. I mean, we're finally putting America first. We're not putting Iran first. We're not putting China first. We're not putting Mexico first. By the way, look at the wall. Look at the wall. So he's done 340 miles of wall. 340 miles of wall. Miles pre-construction, meaning they've graded it and they've put in the foundation. So now the wall is going up like 7 miles a day. It's unbelievable how fast that thing's going up, right? Being made out of American steel. Isn't that a nice thing that's being made out of American steel? And illegal immigration. Illegal immigration is down by 90% right now. 90%. And human trafficking, even maybe more important, human trafficking is at its lowest numbers ever. Isn't that a nice thing? And drugs coming across the southern border, the lowest ever. Isn't that a nice thing? But yeah, you remember these guys. We don't need a wall. We'll use a drone. They're going to put a drone up there and take beautiful pictures of people coming across an invisible line. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, this is the common sense of the radical left. We're going to use a drone. They didn't want to use a drone. They would have disbanded Border Patrol, and they wanted open borders. And yeah, they are liars. But isn't it amazing? You know, my father ran on bringing critical manufacturing back to the United States, bring manufacturing in general back to the United States, building a wall, knowing who's in the country, having a great army, and then all of a sudden COVID hits. You know, and wouldn't it actually be nice if we would have manufactured anything in the United States?
Right.
It is actually national security if you think about it, isn't it? Right? You know, the second we needed N95 masks, all the orders that we had through 3M and all these great companies, China goes, you're not sending those over to the U.S., we need them. So congratulations, they confiscated all our masks. I mean, guys, this is crazy. That's why you need manufacturing in this country. But we're not getting ripped off anymore.
Crazy space for the little boys like me.
Guys, I could go on and on. You have right to try, something that is so important to me. You know, he gets no credit for right to try. He gets no credit for right to try at all. You know, that's where if you're critically ill, stage 4, they have an experimental drug, it might have a chance of saving your life. It doesn't have to go through 20 years of FDA and all these other things. You get to try it. It's called right to try. And if it works, fantastic. And guys, the amount of people's lives it saved, the amount of people's lives it saved has been incredible. And you look at the battle, you look at the war on opioids right now, and what he's doing against that. The opioids that have destroyed our youth in this country, that have absolutely destroyed it, and what he's doing after that.
So we are going through our second battery pack. Unfortunately, we were not allowed to bring in a second battery pack. Didn't get press credentials. So we're just watching the end of the Donald Trump speech, the Eric Trump speech right now.
Germany pays 1.1%, and they weren't even paying. They hadn't paid like 6 years. So he goes, okay, then we're just going to pull out of NATO. We're not going to pay anything into NATO. You guys can have NATO. You guys fund it yourself. Guess what? All of a sudden, billions of dollars started flowing into NATO. Isn't that like an amazing thing? Guys, it's about putting America first. It's about not getting ripped off. And I don't know why it took a real estate guy that knew nothing about politics to figure this out. I remember, you know, the congressman will love this. I remember going to Iowa, right? We didn't have any friends in politics. It was literally my father, myself, and Don. You know, then we had like Corey Lewandowski, right? There was like 4 of us total, right? They were the only people that actually like believed that, you know, he could do this. I remember going to Iowa.
So, if you're just joining us, Eric Trump addressing the crowd of farmers mainly and manufacturing, small manufacturers in Willis, Michigan.
What a caucus is.
This is a swing county, Monroe County, in a swing state. It looks like it now down to 2 swing states in the United States, Michigan and Florida.
These guys actually know something about politics. I build buildings. I don't know anything about politics. What the hell do I know about politics? And by the way, it is good. But why did it take a guy who's been in New York, right, who knew nothing about politics, either side, why did it take him to come out and figure, you know, criminal justice reform out? Why did Obama do criminal justice reform? Why? You know, why didn't Obama do opportunity zones? Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he do something about immigration?
So if
why didn't he do something to help the farmers?
you're with us, I just wanted to warn everyone, we've gone through 2 phones. two fully charged phones. Eric Trump has gone much longer than expected, so we'll let him finish his words here, and we'll try to get a couple interviews after the speech.
And so, guys, this is what we're fighting against. I mean, and listen, I'll end with this. I mean, we are the last family in the world that needs this stuff. We wake up every single day. I say this every day. We wake up every single day, and they punch us in the face before we wake up, before breakfast, and we go to bed, and the media's attacking us, and you see how horrible they are every single day. And it's the last job in the world that we needed. But I truly believe he's saving this country. I truly believe.
Two competing chants, 4 more years, and we love Trump.
Because you know what? If Obama did a good job, guys, guess what? He wouldn't have had to run. If Obama and Biden did such a wonderful job, he wouldn't have stood a chance. He wouldn't have stood a chance. And guys, believe me, somebody was looking down from up there on this process. You know, Hillary raised 1.5 billion, right? And then she had lots of other stuff, and she actually had friends in the media. So she had the entire media. She raised 1.5 billion. She knew something about politics. She had been to Washington, D.C. more than like 3 times, right? You know, my father raised 300 million, right? He had never been to Washington, D.C., and he had myself and Don, and like my wife Laura and Ivanka, right? And Corey Lewandowski. Right? You better believe that somebody's hand was on his shoulder marching him through. You better believe that. You better believe that there was a little bit of a David and Goliath, or a lot of a David and Goliath there. Otherwise, guys, we wouldn't have stood a chance in the world. And I really do believe that there's going to be a revival in this country, a big revival in this country. He is. And by the way, this might be the revival right here. We might actually be looking at the revival if you think about it. Because, you know, Biden went to Miami 2 days ago. He went to Miami. I said this at the beginning. He had no one there, no one. He was looking at a billboard, massive billboard. He had no one there. Other than the mariachi band that he paid to be there, they didn't even want to be there. And you have a guy like me who's not on the ticket. I just love my father. I speak from the heart. And look at the crowds we get all over the place. Man,
People still coming here tonight. People still
people coming in. So the guy that's actually on the ticket, meaning his name is on the ticket, my name will not be. 'Cause I just
47.
No, I don't. Honestly, guys, horrible profession. And other than your incredible congressman, you're right. I don't like both politicians. I really don't. Right? I really.
We still have folks coming in here. And this overflow crowd, so it is an impressive crowd.
Up to see him. Kamala Harris goes around, no one shows up to see her. No one shows up to see them. So maybe, guys, maybe we're actually looking at the revival right here. Maybe we're looking at it. And you know what? When you look at these crowds my father had, I'm not sure, did anybody watch a rally last night in Arizona or Nevada? Guys, there's 30,000 people there. They're waiting for hours and hours and hours. Their kids are dressed up with babies for Trump gear and garb. And I mean, it's unbelievable. I can't tell you how many babies I've literally signed on the campaign trail. I mean, you know, parents are keeping kids out of school to go celebrate something incredible. They see a movement, guys. They see a movement. They want to be part of it, and they love it, right? And
we're going to try to bring you interviews after this, so hang in there for us for the final words here.
We're seeing the revival. Maybe this is a revival here tonight. And you know what? It's amazing.
Sir, we need you actually to stay right I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You know, we did a lot of these in 2016. They didn't have half the enthusiasm as they had a lot of enthusiasm in 2016, but nothing like today. But it was amazing. Everywhere we went, you know, Congressman, you remember these chants, right? You had "Lock Her Up." That was pretty funny. Did anybody like the chant "Lock Her Up"? And then we modified lock her up to lock him up to talk about. Then we modified it to talk about Hunter Biden. Now you're actually probably talking about Joe Biden, considering he's a beneficiary of the money.
And the crowd's referring to the governor, Gretchen Whitmer.
You had lock her up, which morphed into lock him up, right? Which is funny. And then you had one CNN blank, right? I won't say it because there's some kids in the audience, and so you had that one. That one was funny. Everybody liked that one, right? And it's generally true. ABC might be actually worse than CNN these days. I think ABC News is actually worse. And then you had the Build the Wall chant. A couple people really liked that chant before, but. Guys, he was in Arizona the other day, and actually Arizona and North Carolina, and they start chanting, "We love you, we love you." And I'm telling you, this is no longer a political campaign. This truly is a movement, guys. This is love. I mean, guys,
Eric Trump has spoke over twice the amount of time he expected. He is obviously enjoying his trip here to Michigan.
Right here, we're all fighting for the same thing. And so here's what I promise you guys. I promise you, as a family, you will have no family in political history who has ever worked harder than ours. And then, by the way, in 14 days I get to retire and I'll throw on a pair of Carhartts and I'll get in a tree stand with my bow. Any hunters here? A lot of hunters here. All right, I'm coming back. When this thing's over, I'm coming back. We're going to go celebrate the rut together, all right? But I promise you guys, there is no family in political history that will work harder than our family.
Still people coming in.
We will be the first family you see. We will be the first people you see on TV in the morning. We will be the last family to annoy you at night before you go to bed. Guys, we will fight every single second. You know, the congressman mentioned it before, but we did 55 stops. 55 between my father and the VP, Don, myself, Ivanka, and my wife. Does anybody like my wife, by the way? Anyone? She's the best Trump, if you want to know the truth. I tell my father that all the time. I go, Lord Trump's actually the best Trump. But guys, we did 55 stops in the last 48 hours. 55 stops around the country.
Folks still coming in, even though Eric Trump's about to finish.
There hasn't been a swing state that we haven't been in, meaning there hasn't been a state that we haven't been in. 55 stops in 48 hours. Guys, I promise you, there is no family that'll work harder. We're going to go win this thing. Get out there and vote. Bring everybody out to vote.
Get her done!
We're going to win Michigan. Which is not going to make your governor happy, by the way, but we're going to win Michigan. And we're going to win Minnesota. And we're going to win Nevada, we're going to win Arizona, and we're going to win New Mexico. And we're going to win New Hampshire and Florida and North Carolina.
And he's making a statement about swing states.
Pennsylvania, and we are going to make these people literally, if you thought the meltdown in 2016 was epic, if you thought the meltdown in 2016 was epic, you just wait till you see what happened. Yeah, their heads are going to explode. It's going to be combustion. You guys have any pumpkin cannons in this district? It'll be like that when they hit the ground, you know, like full combustion of the heads. Their heads are going to explode. But guys, we love you. God bless you. Get out there and vote. We love you guys. God bless Michigan. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you.
They want me to follow Deb. Trump to work the handshake line, which is sometimes not done. You see all the folks that have lined up for handshakes here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Secret Service always wants to see everybody's hands at these events. So we'll keep broadcasting as long as we have battery. Eric Trump has managed to burn through 2 batteries. We weren't allowed to bring extra batteries through the security line. Wes, what did you think of the Eric Trump speech?
That was spectacular. And when you consider where we are here out in the middle of nowhere to get this many people out and just going crazy, it's amazing.
How about his length of speech? I was impressed because Biden's speeches have been averaging about 4 minutes.
Well, these Trumps are all under the same mold.
He seemed to go about 35 to 40 minutes extemporaneously.
They're like the ever ready bunny, as it were.
Yeah, it was truly impressive. Tara, we haven't gotten you in yet. This is our female anchor or female correspondent. Tara, what did you think of the speech?
I loved it. I thought it was so personal and so just unifying. I feel like he really understands the people, and like you said, the family is just really working together so hard to represent the American people. And
what did you think about the length of his speech? He burned through 2 of our batteries. We started a little bit early, but he burned through 2 of our phones.
I thought it was perfect. Just the time of day. Right now we're kind of dusky here, and it feels really rooted. It feels like, the roots are going deep, they're getting stable, they're getting watered, and the corn's being cut.
Yeah, well, excellent. Well, I don't know if I can make my way over or not.
I think maybe you can.
I'm pretty tall, so I'm not gonna shake his hand, but I'm gonna just go ahead and he's gonna be making his way down here. You can see him signing autographs there.
Hey, don't push, folks. Don't push on this way, okay? We'll get to you, okay, promise?
You can see he's coming our way, so we'll just wait for him to come down this way.
George, I got a spot so early.
Okay. I think okay. You want to trade places? Okay, I'll trade places. So you can see that Eric Trump is coming down here, so he's working the line. I was impressed with hitting on all the major points, hitting on all the Trump talking points. He hit on the economy. He hit on he talked to the farm community. He talked to the manufacturing community. He talked to the folks concerned about schooling for their kids. He mentioned that a lot of the weaknesses of Biden. Sometimes they use the proxies or they use the sons and daughters to do the punching. He certainly lit into Joe Biden early tonight. He also took the gloves off on Hunter Biden and made many references to Hunter Biden's deals with Russia and Ukraine and also China. I think he saved his special salvos for Joe Biden, though, talking about the Iran deal. Interesting how a 2015 deal, he talked about the monies on the pallets coming down the runway there. He talked about the $150 billion. He didn't mention the additional $150 billion that were going to be doled out as far as the agreement. But you can see him working his way down the line here. We were not able to get press passes, unfortunately. But we're still within arm's reach of the candidate, and we're going to be able to say hello. We're not going to have the time. We're not going to get the interview that we thought we might be able to. But they just were not. This was going to be a whistle stop. We were told this was going to be a whistle stop. It was going to be a 3 to 4 minute speech. We had no idea that he was going to talk 45 minutes or 40 minutes. We had no idea he was going to hit so many spots. You could tell just by the length of the speech that this is a critical swing state. You could tell swing states were on his mind. He finished up the speech with talking about how crucial Michigan was as a swing state. And you can see he's signing autographs. So I think they must have pushed back the next event because we were told a very limited CNN, ABC, only the majors were able to get press credentials. But he does look like he is making his way down. We are going to ask about Hunter Biden. And I might take it out of the cradle here, just so we can get a little closer to the candidate. So sorry, we're gonna be a little out of the cradle here, but we're just gonna be able to get a little bit closer.
Who you from? From the Monroe News or?
Obviously, very intimate event.
I was wondering where I'm looking for the pictures like this.
He was not supposed to work the line here at all, so you can tell he's fired up by the crowd. I was not supposed to have this direct contact, but you can see that there's no COVID fears here in Operation Red Play. They're just meeting out the people pressing the flesh, as it were.
Thank you guys.
Hey, Eric, this family right here is knocking on doors for you.
Are you guys?
And they've been volunteers for us today.
Guys,
Right
thank
here.
Presidential elector in the 12th, and
Thank you, man.
my family signed the Declaration of Independence.
You can see handshakes all around.
Wow.
These three.
President Trump is in our prayers.
Keep praying.
And all of that.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Eric, these three have been knocking on doors
guys,
for us
thank you.
and volunteering.
How did Doris look?
Hey, I tell you what, we find even in the liberal areas around Ann Arbor and East
Yeah.
Lansing, we're finding a lot of Trump supporters.
Really?
People love you.
Well, so what do you think?
Please check
What's your ratio? What's your prediction?
And the crazy liberal, we've got 40%.
Yeah, but we make up around here.
We're gonna kill it.
Out in the other areas is 100%.
Eric.
God bless
Good to see you guys.
God bless your family.
Thank you.
God bless your father.
What's this?
Shake his hand, Matthew. Matthew, can you shake his hand?
Eric, you guys. It's good to see you guys. What's up, buddy?
Eric, why do we gotta fight for our American way today? And you get in the Trumps are the only one that will help us. Why? Why do we gotta fight for our American way, Eric?
I don't know. We're the only people who do it for some reason, other than you.
Eric, George Webb, Neighborhood News Hour. Can we get you to come back to Michigan? Do you think you'll have one more chance to come to Michigan?
Oh, I'll be in Michigan quite a bit.
Right on the border there between Toledo and Michigan, you hit both swing states at once.
Yeah, we did, and it's listen, it's an unbelievable state. We love the people, and I think you see the enthusiasm out here tonight. It's awesome.
Is your dad coming back? Can I get a picture?
So there he is, Eric Trump. Eric Trump has said he is going to come back to the swing state newsroom, and that is excellent news. Two swing states at once.
Don't push, folks.
So we're gonna work our way out. We had a chance to talk to the candidate. It was very good. He answered our question, and we're gonna move back to give the candidate some room, or excuse me, not the candidate, but the candidate's son. We're coming back out. There's quite a push here now, so there's a little. We're gonna have to move back, folks. The Secret Service is moving us back, not me. Secret Service is pushing us back, not us, not us. Okay, well that's going to be it from here in Willis, Michigan. George Webb for the Neighborhood News Hour. Thank you to all my Neighborhood News Hour correspondents here. Wes, Tom, we got Kara, Tara, Dave.
Kid Rock's neighbor.
Oh, okay, Kid Rock's neighbor. You're welcome.
Bobby. Don't
Bobby.
call him kid.
Oh, Bobby now. Okay, he's Bobby now. Okay, well Kid Rock has done some campaign events with Eric Trump, I believe. So it'd be nice. John James?
Yep.
He's no longer John. Is that Jesse James's new name? What?
No.
He's a candidate.
You mean the senator? The senator candidate.
Yeah, Ted Nugent was at it too. They
Nugent
both
came-
played.
Okay, excellent. Well, he said he's coming back to the Swing State newsroom, so we'll have that interview for you. We can handle 2 swing states in one interview room and one newsroom. So that was good to hear him say that. That's all. Eric Trump is burying us in terms of battery life.
Thank
How about partners that are in jail now?
They got scared and overwhelmed.
Look at the crowd is still here. The crowd has not gone anywhere. This is the biggest, tightest crowd I think I've seen on the campaign
George
trail.
wasn't so tall, you just see bellies.
Yeah,
You should have been in Saginaw 2 weeks ago for Trump.
it was pretty.
Hell, that was unbelievable.
Well, as far as the son of a candidate, I mean, I don't think Biden gets these kind of crowds. I don't.
Hunter, his 2 partners are in prison now, you know.
Right, Devin Archer and Heinz kid? No,
Yeah,
the
but he just got convicted. He was John Kerry's son-in-law, you know.
Right,
And
the
he got
Heinz
out
kid.
of it till last week, and they're going to. And the one guy has turned. Nobody talks about this.
Devin
He's
Archer.
He turned his email account over to Schweitzer to allow him to take any emails and publish them. And they got all the emails that they've got on the laptop that was at the.
Oh, this is the Bannon thing.
Yeah, well, now there's no question. This guy isn't giving you a copy. This guy gave him the password and the right written signature to use anything on it. And this happened Friday, and nobody talks about it. I don't know what.
Well-
Forget about the laptop, what it is.
Well, we had, I think the gentleman here is referring to the Office of Director of National Intelligence, ODNI, John Ratcliffe, confirming that it's not Russian disinformation. The Hunter Biden laptop, the Hunter Biden phone are not Russian disinformation. They contain valid evidence. So we'll follow that story.
But the other one is is his actual emails, his partner's emails that have the same.
Devin Archer's emails you're
Yeah,
talking about.
they have the same emails that are on the laptop one. So if you
Right.
don't believe the laptop, his partner has given all these emails to Schweitzer, who's a big writer that wrote about this
Peter
stuff.
Schweitzer, Clinton
Yeah.
Cash, and so forth. So we'll watch for that. Thanks, you. What's your name, sir?
Michael Mesh,
Oh, okay, you don't have to say. Where are you from?
Clarkston,
Clarkson. How far is that from here?
60 miles,
What's your profession?
retired
You're retired.
for 12 years.
For 12 years. What were you before that?
I was a
You're getting hesitant.
automotive industry
Automotive.
personnel.
Well, very good, very good. Well, thank you. It's nice meeting you, sir. We've interviewed a lot of people in manufacturing. We've interviewed a lot of people here, and obviously in the farm community, a lot of people in the high-tech community, believe it or not. Michigan is also a high-tech center. Automobiles are probably the most sophisticated thing that you own in terms of technology. So Eric Trump is working the line here. We were told it was going to be a short whistle stop. Excuse me. But it is anything but that. He is working the line. He's stopping and talking to everyone. I'm going to work my way out here. Thank you, sir. And we're going to try to get out if we can. But it looks like we're still broadcasting. I can't believe we still have battery left. Eric Trump just basically buried us. So I believe he's right at the end of the line, right at the end of the shake line, and we'll cover it till he leaves. He came in a nondescript automobile with Secret Service, not the normal entourage of limousines that we're used to seeing. He did say he's coming back to Michigan. He said he was coming back to Ohio. It looks like Trump has sort of left the big air miles to his father, and each one has taken a couple of target swing states. And Eric Trump seems to have picked Michigan as his pet project.
He's got the hand.
There it is. Woo! You can see that Eric Trump's thoroughly enjoying his time here. There is a receiving line and a VIP reception that was planned if the candidate agreed to it, but not in any way assured. There was a chant of 12 more years, meaning one of the Trump sons or daughters would win 2 more terms. Still signing, even though he's at the end of the line. He's having additional people come up through the line, so it's quite impressive. This is an impressive display of, the crowd didn't move away at the end of the speech, the crowd moved toward him. The optics are very good on straddling a tractor during this whole session.
America!
I remember back to the days of Bobby Kennedy when I was a little kid, but this is the first night I've seen where Eric Trump looks like he cuts a figure of maybe a future presidential candidate. If Trump does win again, it looks maybe like a Kennedy-esque legacy or a Bush legacy, potentially. Spoke extemporaneously for the better part of 45 minutes, hit on all the key swing state things that people care about, especially here in Michigan with the manufacturing crisis. Trump's improved that a little bit, but maybe a lot more to do there. Farm community obviously worried with trade with China and trade war. You have the schools and COVID. This is a ringing rejection of the COVID masking and distancing. This was a up close and personal, press to flesh candidate going out, meeting the people, kissing the babies, greeting everyone. I saw lots of handshakes. I didn't see any attempt to give any credence to the COVID. I saw the crowd feeling the same way, feeling like this was a risk that they were willing to take to see their candidate and their candidate's son. So very impressive. We're just sort of in the news corral here. We can't really go anywhere until the son of the folks leaks, but you can see here that there's just still a tremendous crowd. I'll give you a pan quickly around the place, and you can see. And of course, everything is beautifully framed. There you go. The entourage will be heading back to the airport, only a few miles away from here, so seems like they've modified the campaign whistle stop. They were doing them at airports. This is the first one where I've been to where they've gone to a farm. This local corn farm here. Of course, soybeans probably on the back 40. Maybe it was for optics. Maybe it was just to have a bigger crowd. But this was the first one where there goes. So they'll be making their way back to the airport. I don't know. There's a different feeling about this. It seemed like in the last 2 weeks here, the gloves are off for coronavirus. We're not going to let that stop the campaigning, up close and personal campaigning. So we'll make our way out with the crowd. You can see it's quite a crew here. I haven't been in a crowd like this in 6 months. You can see the crowd behind me. So if we're gonna sign off here. I'm with Dave Underdown of the newsroom.
That's right.
What did you think of that?
That was my first political rally in my life, and I thought Eric did a great job, and was a great speaker. Got the crowd really fired up. People were having a good time. So I would say it was a good success for the Trump campaign tonight from Michigan.
Did he hit on all the issues? I know that you talk a lot of. He talked a lot about farming. He talked a lot about manufacturing, but he also hit on the high tech. And then it seemed like he was punching for Trump a little bit on the Joe Biden shortcomings, the Iran deal, etc.
Well, I mean, obviously, I've spent a lot of time, following you, trying to really understand the players in the Iran deal and, those kind of networks and the operations they're running. So, obviously, I'd like to see that kind of a topic really being discussed in the level of detail that you get into. Just because I think people, don't really understand these issues, and they, even when he. I don't know. I'm somebody that is. I don't get. I try not to be pretty neutral as far as assigning blame for these major things like the COVID or selling nuclear technology to different countries. Just because I feel like these networks have gone on forever. They're legacy networks. I don't believe they're just starting now, but they are huge problems that we face as a society. So. I would like to see, see everybody educated on what's going on, so that we can, try to solve some of these problems that we've had, going back, centuries, honestly.
Well, I think a blow was definitely dealt to the Iran nuclear deal. It certainly was pulled out of the 2016 playbook to become part of the 2020 campaign of the standard stump speech, and it's the first time I've heard it on the campaign trail. I heard a little bit of Donald Trump earlier. He talked about it a lot in 2016. It seems like he's brought that back now, going down the stretch. It's Iran. It's Hunter Biden's deals with China. It's Hunter Biden's deals with Ukraine. It's Hunter Biden's deals, $3.5 million for the mayor of Moscow. Mm-hmm. I just see this as kind of hitting the corruption.
Yeah, there's a lot to hit in the corruption angle, so it's good to see him going there. I would like to see him get into the level of talking about Bijan Kian and those characters within the deal. I feel like most people don't know a character like that. And he's was the lead negotiator. So
for the Iran nuclear
deal,
part of Flynn Nuclear, Flynn Intel Group. Yeah,
and they had the deals going with Akeem El-Tepkin doing the Eclipse Aviation. Nobody talks about Flynn, in the Iron Bridge. Is it IP3 Iron Bridge?
Deals,
doing those deals. Of course, I'm always skeptical of that entire situation with the Mike Flynn trial. I feel like that's something that they're just trying to sweep under the rug, not really talk about it a lot, and that's something that I feel like I've tried to really study and learn from you attending the trials, and so hopefully we can. Get that information out to people so that they can, weigh it out and decide what the best way to proceed forward is.
Okay, well, that's the story from here in Willis, Michigan. Eric Trump has a resounding campaign stop, and we'll see you all back at the News Hour a little bit later. Thank you all for joining us, and thank goodness Eric Trump didn't talk 5 minutes longer. Otherwise, we would have